Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today in this video I'm going to show you how to make a very beautiful designer blouse. So to make this blouse I just took a brocade fabric, and this is going to be the lining for the brocade fabric. So I just placed the lining on top of the brocade fabric like this, and I have already made the armhole side and the shoulder. So now I'm just marking the width of my neckline. So the width of my neckline is like 3 inches. So from that width I just take my depth of my neckline, that is 8 inches. So from the bottom I'm just going to leave a 1 inch for folding the blouse, and just from that 1 inch I'm going to mark 2 inch. So from here to here is you're going to add a piece of fabric as a pattern. Okay, so now I'm going to draw a straight line connecting to that 2-inch line like such. Okay, so this is the exact depth of my neckline. So from here to here I'm going to attach a piece of fabric. So now I'm just going to draw like a boat shape over here. So it's going to have a little bit curve when it go at the top like this, and it's going to go like that. And so now I'm going to cut into the neckline. So this is the exact depth of my neckline, and I'm going to draw it like a V over this point. Okay, so there is a two fabric, a main and the lining. So I'm just drawing all the drawings on the lining fabric, and now I'm cutting the neckline into like this. So little by little I'm going to cut into my U neckline. Okay, so once it's done, you can see this is the piece, and now I'm going to mark the exact measurement of where my neckline ends. So I'm going to mark the same to my main fabric like this, just folding the sides together, and I'm going to mark the end point on my main fabric. Okay, that's the exact mark of the depth of my neckline. So same I'm going to mark over here. Okay, so now I'm going to add an invisible piping to my neckline. I have already made a cross cut piping like this, and I'm just attaching the cross cut piping to my neckline. So this is the brocade fabric, and I'm just attaching the piping to the pretty side of the brocade fabric. I have already uploaded a video regarding the making of the invisible piping. So this is the exact same method. So I'm just sewing the exact margin of the piping like such, and little by little you're going to sew on the piping. So for this, make sure you add the zipper foot, so that the work would be really neat if you add zipper foot. So once it's done by sewing, you're going to attach the lining on top of that. So now just place the lining on top of the brocade fabric, and you're going to sew on top like this. To get a more detailed video on how to make the invisible piping, just click on the link in the description box, so that you can learn the invisible piping even more easier way. I have showed you how to make the piping, and I have clearly explained how to add the invisible piping to your neckline. Okay, so little by little I'm just sewing in the piping into my blouse like this. So once it's done, you're going to add some notches. So as is a U shape neckline, you're going to add the notches exactly on the U shape. Okay, so after adding the notches, you're going to turn the lining in, and you're going to bring out the piping like this, and this is called as a invisible piping. The piping will be secured inside. You'll just see only the cord of the piping It just looks really simple and neat. And now you're going to just put a top stitch like this, concealing the piping, the lining and the brocade fabric. So you're going to sew little by little into the neckline. Okay, slowly you're going to get into the curve. So when you're getting into the curve, make sure you put the needle in and turn the fabric. So once it's done, I'm going to make the inside patchwork for the blouse. So this is a piece of black color fabric folded in half like this, and make sure you measure the length of the neckline. So from this point it's going to be the height for the neckline. Okay, so now this is the center point of the fabric and this is the center point of the neckline. So make sure both the center point matches together, and you're going to place it like this. Okay, so this is the folded fabric, and from this point it's going to go like a V, connecting the end of the marked neckline. So it's going to go like a V like this, and now I'm going to cut into V. So folding the fabric in half and I'm just cutting into this V. So just like that, I'm going to sew the V on the exact marked line. Okay. And now I'm going to add the center notch and I'm going to turn the fabric in. See? So all the raw edges would be concealed inside the V, and you will get a pretty neat fabric like this. So once it's done, I'm going to attach the strips of fabric just by attaching the piping, and then I'm going to attach the strips of fabric. So I just took like a 6-inch white fabric and have folded in half like this, and I'm going to attach the pieces of fabric like this by adding the piping to it. So same like that, make sure you give some space in between the fabrics like this, and I'm going to attach the line piping and the piece of fabric like this. So I'm adding 3 rows to this. So once the one side is done, and this is the center point of the patchwork, so you can see. So now I'm going to add the next side of the fabric. Make sure the next side of the piece of fabric should cross the center point and it should go all the way down like this. Okay, so I'm going to measure and I'm be cutting out the pieces like this. So the first piece is going to cross like this, and I'm going to place the second piece, and the second piece is going to cross like this, and the third piece is going to come like this. So I'm going to add piping for all the 3 pieces, and I'm going to sew that together like this. Make sure that the V center point matches the center point of the neckline. So I'm going to sew the 3 pieces like such to finish off the neckline. So once it's done, it's going to look like this, and you're going to just place the center point of the neckline matching the center point of the patchwork like this, and make sure that the marked point is on the exact starting point of the patchwork, and you can see how pretty beautiful it is. So just place it, and you're going to sew at the outer point of this. Make sure you pin that in place before sewing so that it be secured in place. So now I'm going to sew at the exact margin to finish off the neckline. So one more step to go, that is I'll be adding a small piece of fabric at the bottom, and I'll be adding a dart, that's the back dart. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out the excess fabric at the back, and this can see this much of excess fabric are there. So if you have a serger machine, you can just sew that together, or else if you have overlock machine, you can just do a overlock, or else you can just cut the excess fabric like this. So which is very important, or else you will feel so irritated. So just like that, you're going to cut the excess fabric. So now I'm going to attach a piece of fabric to the down part, and I'm now putting a basting stitch on top of that. So double fold the fabric, and you're going to sew that together, and once it's been sewn together, you're going to add a back dart to the designer blouse. So now taking the center point of the shoulder, you're going to fold, and you're going to add a back dart, and you can see this is going to be the end result of the blouse. I totally love it. It just came out really simple, very beautiful. So if you want, you can try this design on your kurti and kurta also, and you can see how pretty beautiful it is. Very simple and very easy to make, and hope you like this video. And if you like this video, and if you want more designer videos like this, don't forget to subscribe my channel, and don't forget to click on the thumbs up button below. See you next time with a different kind of design. Take care. Bye bye.